Hello, and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's chart here on the daily time frame is pretty much unchanged. Market is only consolidating. We are currently not in a breakout phase here, locally at least not. We've been in a correction now for the last 3 weeks, and as always, you will see that in a lack of engagement in the crypto sector. That's always one of the best one of the best signals for me as well that we are in a correction. Not only the Elliott waves, but typically market sentiment, which I see in comments, which I see in views, which I see in our private membership community. You know, when the chats are not as busy, it always quite matches. It's quite interesting. Sometimes we call that B-wave chat. It's the B-wave chat. It's rather quiet. And that kind of all adds weight to the idea that we are indeed in a B-wave, even though those are metrics that chart analysts often wouldn't use. But we've got the advantage of being able to read sentiment that way as well, via social media, for example, or our private chat community on Discord. So yeah, I think we can agree on the fact that we are most likely, yeah. That's the assumption, at least, that we are in a correction. We are not in a direct move up, even though the overall trend remains up. The trend remains up from the April low. That's the overall trend, and the trend remains up from the August low last year, and the trend remains up from the 2022 low. But then if we go into the smaller time frames, obviously here from the May high, the local trend seems to be down because we have an initial 5-wave move up, and that alone is not enough to say the trend is down, but it's a corrective rally afterwards. So that corrective rally afterwards, yeah, that is well, you could say that is problematic, yeah, because this corrective rally is indicating that we could be in an AB structure with a C wave to the downside. So having this ABC structure here indicates that very soon we could start a C wave rally to the upside. And first of all, we want to get this correction done, want to get this correction finished. It's still part of an overall uptrend from the April low, as long as we're holding 81,355. Why? Because the bigger picture, larger time frame, larger degree assumption tells us that we could be in a corrective pullback. And we know that after an A wave is complete, which the wave count, subwave structures definitely allow for as interpretation, this entire move up needs to be corrected. Yeah? And the standard support area for such a correction is this one, between the 78.6 retrace and the 38.2 retracement level. And it could be tested. We haven't tested it yet, but we're on a good way. But it is slowly, and I will share with you my thoughts on the smaller time frame. And overall, the idea is still that we should see the market get towards 130, 140K over the coming months, you could say, or weeks, months, yeah. That can happen very, very quickly in the sector. I also made a video on our main channel, MCO Global. It's linked at the end of the video, about a buy signal that could flash again very, very soon. It came up here in February, March. We talked about it, and it might come up again. It's related to the RSI. If you want to find out more about it, check out that video. Someone commented earlier today, well, we are miles away from that signal. Feels like content for the sake of content. And honestly, it's not good to talk about something after the fact. That can happen very quickly. If we see a dip into this region, it can happen within 2 to 3 days or even a week. People need time to prepare, right? So we don't really want to tell you things after they happened. One of the advantages of Elliott Wave and market forecasting is that we can give you those scenarios, not certainty, but scenarios before something happens. So it's all about, if this happens, then. And you can develop a strategy. You can develop a plan. There's no point telling you, oh, hey, like you would find like in a lot of videos as well, this just happened. No point, right? It's a bit late. So that's why we talk about these different scenarios every single day. That knowledge is gold. It really is, if you know what to do with it. So check it out if you're interested. This here is still seen as a correction. The next target area here, and you will see that on the smaller time frame as well in more detail, the target area is between $92,830 and $99,227. This is a target area for a B wave pullback. And then from there, we could watch for a C wave rally, which could then take us towards 130K. So yeah, what can I say? We are dealing with a correction. We might even be... it might even be helpful to draw a parallel trend channel. I'm not sure if it really helps, if it will be respected, but we can create this, or track it rather, as a corrective price channel. We have 2 touch points up and down. So maybe it can be helpful to track this price channel here, at least on the larger time frame. Yeah. Yeah, let's take a look at the smaller time frame now. And this is the smaller time frame. So what you can see here is this B wave top I just talked about, B wave top, and now likely in a C wave down. The C wave down can, in my view, unfold in 2 different ways. Either as ending diagonal is shown in white, 1, 2, A, B, C in wave 3, then wave 4, then wave 5. So basically a 5-wave decline in wave C. Or, and it will have to be a 5-wave decline, but in the yellow scenario we have a slightly different subdivision. Wave 1, so all of this is wave 1, but as a 3-wave move, as opposed to 1, 2, A. Yeah. Then we have a wave 2, a bit larger than the previous one. And then this would be A, B with a 3 down. We'll shift it across in a minute. Then a wave 4, then a wave 5. It's a slightly different subdivision. Actually, the yellow count could take us lower, a little further, a little lower, a little faster maybe, I don't know. But a little lower anyway. Why? Because the initial wave 1 is longer. And when the wave 1 is longer, it means it has, normally at least, an effect on waves 3 and 5. But hey, let's shift it all across a little bit, because not much happened, but time has moved on. So basically, they are very similar scenarios. It's just that the main difference is at the moment that in the yellow scenario, we might see a bit of a bounce, an additional bounce into this upper, you could say upper resistance area. The parameters are the same like yesterday. Resistance between $106,800 and $107,750. This is our upper resistance area. Getting rejected there could start the C wave decline, and then we would move towards this blue zone. And this could likely send the price into oversold territory if we get into this region. That, of course, it depends a little bit on how it behaves here. In the white count, we could get one more low first. And we are dealing here with an internal wave 4 correction, which respects the micro resistance area at 105,560 so far being respected. And we can get a move down directly and another 4, 5. But the 4 might be a bit smaller than... not necessarily, actually. So we will put the resistance areas for the wave 4s onto the chart once we know it's the white or yellow count. I think yellow is very likely, but we would need a bit of a bounce, and a bounce above resistance. I mentioned yesterday that we could be in the C wave up now, but need a break above 105,560. So that's what I'm going to track today. But if we get any break below the 103,560 level, yesterday's low, it might roll over directly. And then the focus will shift here to 99,260. So yeah, that's the update on Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on X for additional content, for additional updates. So if you have any questions, you can post them here below the last post from us. You can discuss with the community. You can receive additional updates that we don't share on YouTube here on our MCO X channel, so check it out. Gives you some additional and bonus updates, you could say. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.